Why do we tip service workers in some countries? Let's begin with a scene many of us know all too well. You've just enjoyed a fantastic meal at a bustling restaurant. The food was exquisite, the service stellar. As you reach for your wallet, a thought crosses your mind. How much should you tip? We all know we're supposed to leave something extra for the server, but have you ever wondered why? Tipping. It's such an ingrained practice in places like the United States that most of us don't even question it. Yet, it doesn't end there. Hairdressers, taxi drivers, hotel bellhops, all these service providers line up for gratuity, and we oblige without a second thought. But why? What's so special about this cultural quirk that makes giving extra money on top of a bill seem so obligatory? Today, we're diving into the fascinating history of tipping, a story filled with surprising twists, unexpected origins, and an evolution that will make you see this everyday act in a completely new light. Prepare for a journey that will untangle a practice entrenched in our perception of gratitude and fairness, yet tightly woven with the threads of social and business dynamics that most of us never consider. When you think about tipping, certain assumptions likely come to mind. We often believe this practice comes from a place of generosity and appreciation. A little extra something offered to thank someone for going above and beyond, right? In countries like the US, it's seen as a natural expression of gratitude. However, take a moment to consider places where tipping is non-existent or even frowned upon. Across much of Europe, gratuity isn't a given, but rather an exception. In Japan, offering a tip might even cause confusion or embarrassment, perceived as undermining the integrity of excellent service. Such variations beg for us to question, why does tipping feel so essential in some cultures and unnecessary in others? It's tempting to frame it as merely cultural preference, but that notion glosses over a much deeper story, intertwined with the roots of tipping. Contrary to the simple view of courtesy, tipping is far from a universal standard of thank you. It's a behavioral norm crafted by historical, social, and economic motivations, far richer than mere thanks. To unravel the mystery of tipping's origin, let's travel back to the late 17th century. Picture England's mannerly society, where patronage was the name of the game. Within the grand halls of aristocracy, servants relied on gratuities from their masters to supplement their meagre earnings. This practice wasn't simply a genteel gesture, but essential to ensuring subsistence. Fast forward to the 19th century, this custom leapt across the pond to America post-Civil War, where it found fertile ground in an emerging economy reshaped by new social dynamics. However, instead of merely evolving as a benevolent gesture, tipping in the United States began entwining with economic necessity. As African Americans entered the service industry in large numbers, establishing a tipping-based wage system became a pervasive way for employers to justify paying lower wages, thanks to the supplement from tips. In this way, what began as optional gratitude transformed into a structural pillar of economic survival. The evolution from extra bonus to indispensable income forms the heart of tipping's complex backstory. Now let's ponder the broader question. Why did tipping become such an integral aspect of the American service industry? It wasn't just a simple preference, but a necessity born out of circumstance. As the 19th century unfolded, the US was a country in the throes of rapid expansion and industrial change. The groundwork for a service-based industry was laid by vast waves of urban habitation and a flow of immigrants eager to start anew. In cities swelling with opportunity, businesses sought to capitalize on economic growth by keeping operational costs low. What better way than to encourage customers to subsidize employee wages through tips? Moreover, establishing tipping as a norm conveniently disguised the costs of fair wages. Businesses promoted it as a way for patrons to reward good service, subtly shifting public perception so that the customer, not the employer, bore the onus of fair compensation. This shift not only stuck, but went unnoticed by many as it blended into the social fabric, morphing a basic economic need into a seemingly personal choice, one expertly masked amidst societal transformations. Here's where the tale takes an intriguing twist. You might assume that tipping naturally evolved simply because businesses wanted to pay workers less. But initially, even the American public opposed tipping, seeing it as a symbol of subjugation, akin to bribery in a nation built on egalitarian ideals. Efforts to banish tipping sprung up in the early 20th century, with petitions and legislative attempts questioning the practice's moral standing. Publications of the time even dubbed it un-American. Yet tipping persisted and even flourished. Why? Because economic pressures and cultural acceptance phased into a gradual acceptance, as tipping became less about charity and more a preconceived cost of enjoying services. Intriguingly, restaurants themselves perpetuated its spread by promoting tipping as a mark of class distinction. By subtly suggesting that generous tipping was both fashionable and expected, the practice cemented itself as a status symbol in American society, cementing its role as an institution ratifying social hierarchies. While tipping may have cemented its base in America, its global journey is ripe with complexity. As we travel through different regions, the views on gratuity shift remarkably. In France, tipping finds its roots in the same aristocratic traditions as England, but with nuances. While gratuity was once included in the price of a meal, modern norms transformed to expect small token tips, reflecting gratitude rather than obligation. Abroad in Asia, many cultures adhere to a philosophy where excellent service is a given, not demanding additional reward. Places like Japan maintain that service should stem from honor, a gift, rather than a transaction, eliminating the need for tipping altogether, which might be viewed as offensive. Despite these contrasts, global travel and cultural exchanges have introduced tipping into places that once abhorred it, molding practices to fit tourism-driven influences. It's a testament to tipping's ability to adapt, shapeshift, and cross cultural boundaries, much like the patrons who practice it. So, why does tipping persist, even in places with fixed wage models? The answer lies not just in economics, but in cultural entrenchment. In the US, the practice persists due to deeply seated traditions, employer strategies to reduce wages, and consumer habits. Despite debates on raising minimum wage standards, tipping endures, offering businesses a valuable tool to maintain lower wage floors while relying on the apparent freedom of consumer whimsy. Elsewhere, the resistance or acceptance of tipping reflects a dialogue between local customs and external influences. Ingrained habits persist even with international friction, illustrating the powerful hold of social norms that transcend generations. Ultimately, tipping reveals more about us than we might assume. Our desire to express gratitude, our acceptance or rejection of social hierarchies, and our adaptation to evolving cultures. Next time you leave a few bills on a table, you'll be armed with the knowledge of centuries of human complexity, hidden in what seems like a simple gesture of goodwill.